Jake Paul just made a shocking decision right before his heavyweight clash with Mike Tyson. The problem child was all set to face off against Mike Tyson on November 15, 2024, a match that's got the boxing hub. But just when you thought you had a handle on the situation, Jake drops this bombshell. He's revealed that if he loses to Tyson, he'll be retiring from boxing. Yeah, you heard it right, the same. Jake Paul, who was recently talking about his dreams of becoming a winner and even eyeing a spot in the Olympics, is now hinting at walking away from the sport altogether if he doesn't win this fight. Let's break it down. So here's the deal. Jake Paul's been making waves in the boxing world for a while now. Love him or hate him, the dude knows how to stay in the middle. But let's rewind a bit after knocking fighters left and right. Jake's next big target, the one and only Mike Tyson. Yeah, we're talking about Iron Mike, the baddest man on the planet. This is not just another YouTuber fight, this is a serious showdown with one of the most famous boxers in history. The fight's set for November 15th, and the hype is real. Jake's been training like a beast, sharing workout videos and talking that talk on social media. But here's the twist, no one expected what he just announced. Hear me out, just when you think you've got Jake Paul figured out, he throws a curveball. And this one...
I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend. I don't give a fuck about anything else, and he's the one that wanted it to be a pro fight, so he's gonna get his ass knocked out for real, on a real record. You're gonna see on BoxRec, Jake Paul.
Get this, the two heavyweight titans faced off in a heated press meeting in New York City that had everyone on the edge of their seats. Jake showed up looking like he had zero pre-fight jitters. Seriously, the guy was almost too confident. He was strutting around throwing out bold predictions and acting like sending Tyson cracking onto the canvas was just another day at the office. The energy in the room was electric with both fighters firing verbal jabs, but the YouTuber turned boxer was clearly the one bringing the heat. It was like he was on a mission to prove he could hang with a legend. But now, just days later, Jake's shocking announcement to retire if he loses has sent shockwaves throughout the entire fight world. The guy who was just talking a big game and looking like he was ready to take on the world is now having second thoughts about the whole matchup. It's almost like that new Jake did step into the ring with a real boxer, Tommy Fury. Now, Tommy's the younger brother of heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, and he grew up in the sport. But while Tommy has the pedigree, he's not exactly the cream of the crop. Sure, he's undefeated, but his record is filled with lower-tier fighters. He's not a world champion, and he hasn't made significant waves in the sport just yet. So when Jake fought Tommy in February 2023, it was a close fight, but Tommy edged out the win by a split decision. The fight was a wake-up call for Jake, showing that when it comes to fighting someone with real boxing experience, it's a whole different ballgame. Tommy exposed some of Jake's weaknesses, but let's be honest, Tommy, despite his potential, is no Tyson Fury, and now Jake is set to face his first real test, a true test against a seasoned professional who also happens to be a live legend. Iron Mike is no washed-up MMA fighter, YouTuber, or retired athlete trying his hand at boxing. He's one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time with a career that's the stuff of legend. This fight isn't just another payday or publicity stunt for Jake. This is the real deal. But we still didn't expect Jake to put his entire career on the line. Yeah, Mike Tyson's a legend, but let's not forget he's pushing his 60s at 58 years old. Tyson isn't exactly in his prime, and that's where Jake Paul might see an edge on paper. Jake's facing an older opponent not too far off from the type of fighters he's gone up against before. He's used to fighting guys who are past their peak, so maybe he was expecting the same with Tyson. But here's the thing. Tyson might be older, but he's far from washed up. In fact, Tyson's still an absolute beast in the ring. Have you seen him lately? The guy's ripped and still has that knockout power that made him a famous name.
I'm getting ready for you.
Even at 58, his skills haven't faded. He's got the experience, the muscle memory, and the sheer ferocity to take down a younger, less seasoned fighter like Jake. We've always known Tyson's capabilities, so it's not like Jake's walking into this fight blind. But maybe, just maybe, Jake was different. Tyson one that's slower, weaker, and easier to handle. But after seeing Tyson looking more ripped than ever, reality might be sinking in for Jake. He's realizing that this fight isn't going to be the walk in the park he might have hoped for. Losing to a 58-year-old might not just hurt his pride, it could be a career-ending embarrassment. And now, instead of facing that possibility, Jake's already talking about quitting the sport altogether if he loses. It's almost like he's setting the stage to bow out gracefully rather than risking the humiliation of getting out by a boxing legend who's nearly twice his age. So what happens after November 15th? There are two very different scenarios, and both will have big consequences for Jake Paul's future. First, let's imagine Jake wins. If Jake somehow pulls off the victory against Mike Tyson, it would be one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Jake would instantly silence his haters and cement his status as a legitimate fighter. It would be a career-defining moment, and you can bet the YouTuber-turned-boxer would capitalize on it, possibly even challenging more big names in the sport. His brand would explode, and he'd go from YouTube star to boxing icon overnight. Boxing pros and pundits would have nothing over him. But what if he loses? If Jake gets defeated by Tyson, the retirement talk will become a reality. The problem child will hang up his gloves, and the boxing world will lose one of its most hyped athletes. But don't think Jake will just disappear. Knowing him, he'll find a way to stay relevant, whether it's in the entertainment industry, business ventures, or maybe even returning to his roots as a YouTube star. The problem child has been vocal about his ultimate goal, becoming a world champion. That's what he's been aiming for ever since he first laced up the gloves, and it's the one thing the boxing pundits have been waiting to see. Could Jake really break through and prove he's more than just a YouTuber? With a loudmouth, well, here's the harsh reality: Jake isn't respected in the boxing world. As it is, despite his wins, many see him as more of a YouTuber playing dress-up than a serious contender. Now with his upcoming fight against Mike Tyson, the stakes couldn't be higher. If Jake loses to Iron Mike, his dreams of becoming a world champion could be completely shattered. Think about it. How could he expect to be taken seriously in the sport if he can't get past a 58-year-old? Even if that 58-year-old is one of the greatest of all time. Boxers wouldn't want to step into the ring with him, not because they're scared, but because beating Jake wouldn't add anything to their careers. Instead of climbing the ranks, Jake could find himself with no place in the sport at all. And that's something Jake might already be realizing, which could explain why he's considering calling it quits if things don't go his way. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. So there you go, Fight World. That's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on Jake Paul making a shocking decision before Mike Tyson fight? Make sure to fill out the comment section with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more boxing news. See you in the next video.